After this, Cyaxares died, having reigned 40 years, including those years during which the Scythians had ruled. And Astyages, the son of Cyaxares, received from him the kingdom. To him was born a daughter, whom he named Mandane. And in his sleep, it seemed to him that there passed from her so much water as to fill his whole city in the flood and the whole of Asia. The dream he delivered over to the Magian interpreters of dreams. And when he heard of them the truth at each point, he became afraid. And afterwards, when this Mandane was of age to have a husband, he did not give her into marriage to any of the Medes who were his peers, because he feared the vision. But he gave her to a Persian named Cambyses, whom he found to be a good, decent, and a quiet disposition, counting him to be in station much below a Mede of middle rank. And when Mandane was married to Cambyses in the first year, Astyages saw another vision. It seemed to him that from the womb of his daughter a vine grew, and this vine overspread the whole of Asia. Having seen this vision and delivered it to the interpreter of dreams, he sent for his daughter, being then with child, to come from the land of the Persians. And when she had come, he kept watch over her, desiring to destroy that which should be born of her. For the Magian interpreters of dreams signified to him that the offspring of his daughter should be king in his room. Astyages, then desiring to guard against this, when Cyrus was born, called Harpagos, a man who was of kin near to him, and whom he trusted above all the other Medes, and had made him a manager of all his affairs. And to him he said as follows: Neglect but not by any means, Harpagos, the matter of which I shall lay upon thee, and beware lest thou set me aside. And choosing the advantage of others instead, bring thyself afterwards to this destruction. Take the child which Mandane bore, and carry it to thy house and slay it, and afterwards bury it, whatsoever manner thou thyself desirest. To this he made answer: O king, never yet in any past time didst thou discern in me any offense against thee, and I keep watch over myself also with a view to the time that comes after, that I may not commit any error towards thee. If it is indeed thy pleasure that this should be done, my service, at least, must be fitly rendered. Thus he made answer, and when the child had been delivered to him adorned as for death, Harpagos went weeping to his wife all the words which had been spoken by Astyages. And she said to him, Now, therefore, what is it thy mind to do? And he made answer, Not according to Astyages enjoined. For not even he shall come to be yet more out of his senses and more mad than he is now, will I agree to this will, or serve him in such a murder as this. And for many reasons I will not slay the child. First, because he is akin to me, and then because Astyages is old and without male issue. And if after he is dead the power shall come through me, does not the greatest dangers then await me? To secure me, this child must die, but one of the servants of Astyages must be the slayer of it, and not one of mine. Thus he spoke, and sent a messenger out to one of the herdsmen of Astyages, who he knew fed his herds on the pastures which were the most suitable for his purpose, and on the mountains most haunted by wild beasts. The name of this man was Mithridates, and he was married to one who was his fellow slave. And the name of this woman to whom he was married was Kino in the tongues of the Hellenes, and in the Median tongue Spako, for what the Hellenes call Kina, the Medes call Spaka. Now, it was on the skirts of the mountains that the herdsman had his cattle pastures, from Agbatana towards the north winds and towards the Euxine Sea. For here is the direction of the Sasparians. The Median land is very mountainous and lofty and thickly covered with forests. But the rest of the land of Media is all level plain. So when this herdsman came, being summoned with much urgency, Harpagos said these words: Astyages bids thee to take the child and place it in the most desolate parts of the mountain, so that it may perish as quickly as possible. And he bade me to say that if you do not kill it, but in any way shall preserve it from death, he will slay thee by the most evil kind of destruction. And I have been appointed to see that this child is laid forth. Having heard this and taken up the child, the herdsman went back by the way he came, and arrived at his dwelling. And his wife also, as it seems, having been every day to the point of bearing a child, by a providential chance brought her child to birth just at that time when the herdsman was gone to the city. And both were in anxiety, each for the other, the man having fear about the childbearing of his wife, and the woman about the cause why Harpagos had sent to summon her husband, not having been wont to do so beforetime. So as soon as he returned and stood before her, the woman, seeing him again beyond her hopes, was the first to speak, and asked him for what purpose Harpagus had sent for him so urgently. And he said, Wife, when I came to the city, I saw and heard that which I had not been seen, and which I should wish had never chanced to those whom we serve. For the house of Harpagus was as full of all mourning, and I, being astonished thereat, went within. And as soon as I entered, I saw laid out to view an infant child gasping for breath and screaming, which was adorned with gold ornaments and embroidered clothing. And when Harpagus saw me, he bade me forthwith to take up the child and carry it away and lay it on the part of the mountains which is most haunted by wild beasts, saying that it was Astyages who laid this task upon me, and using to me many threats if I should fail to do this. And I took it up and bore it away, supposing that it was the child of some of the servants of the house. For never could I have supposed whence it really was. But I marveled to see it adorned with gold and raiment. And I marveled also because the mourning was made for it openly in the house of Harpagus. And straightway, as we went by the road, I learned the whole of the matter from the servant, who went with me out of the city and placed it in my hands the babe, namely that it was in truth the son of Mandani, the daughter of Astyages, and Cambyses, the son of Cyrus, and that Astyages bode slay it. And now, here it is. And as he said this, the herdsman uncovered it and showed it to her. And she, seeing that the child was large and of fair form, wept, and clung to the knees of her husband, beseeching him by no means to lay it forth. But he said that he could not do otherwise than so, for watchers would come backwards and forwards, sent by Harpagus, to see that this was done. And he would perish by a miserable death if he should fail to do this. And as she could not after all persuade her husband, the wife next said as follows, Since then I am unable to persuade thee not to lay it forth, do this which I shall tell thee. If indeed it needs must be seen laid forth, I also have borne a child, but I have borne it dead. Take this and expose it, and let us rear the child of the daughter of Astyages, as if it were our own. Thus thou wilt not be found out doing a wrong to those whom we serve, nor shall we have taken ill counsel for ourselves, for the dead child will obtain a royal burial, and the surviving one will not lose his life. To the herdsman it seemed that, the case standing thus, his wife spoke well, and forthwith he did so. The child which he was bearing to put to death, this he delivered to his wife, and his own, which was dead, he took and placed it in the chest in which he had been bearing the other. And having adorned it with all the adornment of the other child, he bore it to the most desolate part of the mountains and placed it there. And when the third day came after the child had been laid forth, the herdsman went to the city, leaving one of his under-herdsmen to watch there. And when he came to the house of Harpagus, he said that he was ready to display the dead body of the child. And Harpagus sent the most trusted of his spearmen, and through them he saw and buried the herdsman's child. This then had burial, but him who was afterwards called Cyrus, the wife of the herdsman, had received, and was bringing him up, giving him no doubt some other name, not Cyrus. In Isaiah 45:1, Thus says the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have grasped, to subdue nations before him, and to loose the belts of kings, to open doors before him, that gates may not be closed.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Covenants and Kingdoms. I am your co-host Brad, along with...
Hey, I'm Nathan. How y'all doing? Nice to see you.
And yeah, hey Nate.
Hey, bud.
Hope you're doing well.
Thank you. You too.
Brain fart, sorry. All right. As always, we are brought to you by Baba Java Coffee, located in Birmingham, Alabama. We are a specialty coffee roaster with 3 cafe locations in the area. And if you need really good, ethically sourced, specialty grade coffee, come see us. Come to our shops, buy some coffee there, or you can go online at babajavacoffee.com. And if you are a listener to this show, just put the code Covenants in at checkout and you will get 10% off your order.
And do it. Put in 10% off and order over 100 pounds. And if you, so by doing, order over 100 pounds, you will receive a very special treat. because after the war is over, Brad Haynes personally will deliver all the way from the hills and mountains of Media and Persia.
That's right.
The 100 pounds in his adornment of gold.
Can I ride an olifant?
On an olifant.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Be real fun.
Yeah, I would love it.
Yes, like Nathan said, do it. Just go buy it.
Buy a bunch. It's really good. I don't buy a bunch, but I get a bunch and I drink a bunch.
It is good. All right, so to our story. What is that from, Nathan?
That's from Herodotus Histories, Book 1. That's the story of the great king of Media and Persia, Cyrus the Great.
Yeah, and you ended it with that passage from Isaiah.
Yeah, the Lord calls him Messiest, my anointed.
Mm-hmm. Well, he is anointed
for a specific purpose.
Judge Israel.
Well, no, he actually didn't. He was the savior of Israel. So remember, the Babylonians are the ones who carried them into captivity. Cyrus conquered the Babylonians, and it put him forth. Right. So part of his doctrine, part of the way politically he did things different than the Assyrians and Babylonians, than the Mesopotamian people, was he would let the people worship in any way they want to. Right, and he would send a lot of the captives, a lot of the people that were enslaved, he would send them back to their home places.
So he is the one who sent them back to...
Well, he started the process, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, it was kind of a process.
That's
right.
Right.
So he kind of started the process. So in the eyes of the Jews at the time, he's a great, great king, great man. Mm-hmm. I mean, he sent them back to Judah and started the process by which eventually they resettled Jerusalem, rebuilt Jerusalem, as we see in the stories of the Bible of
Nehemiah and those guys.
Nehemiah and
Ezra.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Gee whiz.
That's okay.
My brain's not working today. Sorry, I hope you learned something today because my brain's a little slow.
So we briefly considered reading genealogies from Genesis 35 and 36. And we're going to go over a little bit. But
and we can do that. I mean, I'm happy to do that. I would love to. From the genealogies, we can learn a whole lot. Yeah. It's really amazing. To some people, it might be more boring even than the righteousness and justice episodes that we have. But to me, it would be really interesting. But if you want that, hey, message us, and maybe we'll do a private lesson.
That's right.
All right.
Be that as it may, we are skipping ahead to Genesis 37.
Yeah, we're going to go to Genesis 37. We're going to start what's called the Joseph narrative. Now, just like we did with Abraham, so in Genesis, you have the before Abraham. You have basically four sections. Okay, you have the before Abraham, creation to Abraham, right, and that includes all the things. And we start our story in Genesis 11, which was right before Abraham, Babel, right? So we started where we kind of have at least some history that we can look back on. And then you have the Abrahamic narrative, and then you have the Jacob narrative, and a little bit of Isaac in there too, but he's kind of in with Abraham and in with Jacob, really. And you have the Jacob narrative, and then now we're coming to the point where we have the Joseph narrative. Okay.
Yeah.
And in the Joseph narrative, we have all the stuff about Joseph. And then we have one little section that we're going to read the next time about Genesis 38, where we talk about Judah. And then in between, we're going to talk about some of the other brothers as we go along. And then when we get to the blessings of Jacob at the end of Genesis, we're going to talk a whole lot about each of the brothers and each of the tribes and what they mean and interpret the things that he says. And then at the very end of Genesis, we're going to really go into Joseph a lot, okay? So Joseph is undertaught theologically, all right?
He's usually relegated to a fun kid story.
Yeah, it's a story in the Bible.
Coat.
I mean, it's just a story that kind of leads to Exodus. It leads to Egypt and Exodus, and then he's not thought of again. But the Joseph Ephraim narrative is really super important for the theology of the Bible, and we're going to talk about that in detail. We may have one. We're going to have at least one episode, maybe two, maybe more. So there's a really great book called Joseph ben Messiah from David Mitchell, which I just love, and I just devoured it. And we're gonna talk a lot about what he talks about in there and how it applies to New Testament theology, to Israel theology, how it applies to lots of different doctrines and theologies of the Bible. And we're going to go through that in detail. So stick around for that. It's going to be really good stuff. So Joseph is undertaught. We're going to introduce some of those things that are undertaught about Joseph. And then as we go throughout the Bible, as we talk about those things, we'll reference back to Joseph, Ephraim. So it's Joseph, Joshua, Ephraim. Remember, Joseph, Ephraim, Joshua, and then Ephraim is the tribe. Ephraim represents eventually Israel. You know, he's going to become the dominant tribe of the northern tribes of Israel. So a lot of the prophets, when they refer to Ephraim, they're talking about Israel and the 9-10 coalition of the Israelite tribes. So we're gonna talk about that.
Sounds good.
So let's go into Genesis 37 and begin our Joseph narrative. Oh, and at some point we're going to go back and review Jacob also. So when we get to the end of Genesis, we're going to go back. We're not going to review Abraham again because we already did that, but we're going to review Jacob and then we'll review Joseph again. So we may have two extra episodes on that. I keep adding episodes. We're never going to get to Exodus.
No. A couple of years maybe.
So anyway, let's read Genesis 37.
Jacob lived in the land of his father's sojournings, in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was pasturing the flock with his brothers. He was a boy with the sons of Bilhah and Zilpah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought a bad report of them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any other of his sons, because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a robe of many colors. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all of his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peacefully to him. Now Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Hear this dream that I have dreamed. Behold, we were binding sheaves in the field, and behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf." His brothers said to him, "Are you indeed to reign over us? Are you indeed to rule over us?" So they hated him even more for his dreams and for his words. Then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers and said, "Behold, I have dreamed another dream. Behold, the sun, the moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me." But when he told it to his father and to his brothers, his father rebuked him and said to him, "What is this dream you have dreamed? Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come bow ourselves to the ground before you?" And his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near Shechem. And Israel said to Joseph, "Are not your brothers pasturing the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them." And he said to him, "Here I am." So he said to him, "Go now, see if it is well with your brothers and with the flock, and bring me word." So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a man found him wandering in the fields, and the man asked him, "What are you seeking?" "I am seeking my brothers," he said. "Tell me, please, where they are pasturing the flock." And the man said, "They have gone away, for I have heard them say, 'Let us go to Dothan.'" So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at Dothan. They saw him from afar, and before he came near to them, they conspired against him to kill him. They said to one another, "Here comes this dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. Then we will say that a fierce animal has devoured him, and we will see what becomes of his dreams." But when Reuben heard it, he rescued him out of their hands, saying, "Let us not take his life." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into this pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him, that he might rescue him out of their hands to restore him to his father." So when Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped him of his robe, the robe of many colors that he wore, and they took him and threw him into a pit. The pit was empty, there was no water in it. Then they sat down to eat, And looking up, they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing gum, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry it down to Egypt. Then Judah said to his brothers, "What profit is it if we kill our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our own flesh." And his brothers listened to him. Then Midianite traders passed by, and they drew Joseph up and lifted him out of the pit, and sold him to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. They took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore his clothes and returned to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone, and where shall I go?" Then they took Joseph's robe and slaughtered a goat and dipped the robe in the blood. And they sent the robe of many colors and brought it to their father and said, "This we have found. Please identify whether it is your son's robe or not." And he identified it and said, "It is my son's robe. A fierce animal has devoured him. Joseph is without doubt torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his loins and mourned his son for many days. All his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted and said, "No, I shall go down to Sheol to my son, mourning." Thus his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites had sold him in Egypt to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, the captain of the guard.
We're in the covenant, all right?
Mm-hmm.
The Abrahamic covenant. Again, the Abrahamic covenant is the three principles of, I'm going to give you this specific cosmic geographical land. It's very special to me for my covenantal people for some reason, right? So he's going to give you that specific land. There's going to be people that are going to come through. You're going to have sons, and those sons will be heirs, and the heirs will change a little bit as we go along through the Bible, and we go through the narrative and the story. So you're going to have a land, you're going to have heirs, and you're going to have a blessing. Okay, this blessing is going to be with me. It's a covenant. A land grant type treaty. It's a promise. They made covenantal promises, and then it was ratified by both parties. So it's a covenant. It's going to happen. All right? Yahweh himself has ratified it. So in this covenant, Yahweh's covenantal promises necessarily are advanced, necessarily because he chooses to do this, but necessarily through humans. And in humans, we always do everything perfectly, right according to God's plan, exactly in his will, all the time, every time.
Without fail.
Without fail. All right? No, obviously. I mean, today I haven't,
Right.
So human dysfunction, motives, misunderstandings, sin, and through these we'll see the hidden providence of God, okay? And the election by God that we don't understand is going to be seen throughout this whole process, even when we screw up, even when we're not in his will, which happens throughout the narrative Bible, which happens throughout human history, even under the covenantal people, right? I mean,
Correct.
If it wasn't like that, we'd all be screwed, right?
Yes.
I mean, but God knows we're not going to.
Right.
And that's what forgiveness and mercy and grace are, right? That's what faith is. Because of our failings, he has mercy and grace, gives those things to us, right?
Amen.
So even throughout our sin and dysfunction, we see his providence and his election, okay? So Jacob lived in the land of his father's sojournings in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob, the Toldot. Okay, the Toldot. Very important, okay, because part of the covenant is the heirs. All right, so it's important to understand the Toldot, the generations, the account, the what unfolds, okay, the things that are happening after, right? That's what we're going to say. So this is God's covenant from Heiser. This isn't just genealogy. Okay, it's not just this person had this person had this person had this person, right? That's not what it's about. When we go back and do our genealogies, I don't know any of these people. You know, I've never met them, I've never heard about them. They're just people. I don't know them. But to God, it's different. And in this case, it's not just this person begat this person, right? It's about this covenant moving through history, all right? It's God. It's about how God moves through people through his covenant, all right? So we're still in Jacob's story because Abraham to Isaac to Jacob, and he's passing it on to his sons, right?
Yeah.
But now it's mediated through Joseph. So we're going to see it pass through Joseph, all right? It's Joseph's part to carry on this this covenant, okay? Okay. So it's the final major narrative of Genesis, as we discussed before, and it's a theological bridge to Exodus. Okay, and we'll see as we go along. There's these different typologies. We see the prophecy of Scripture. A major part of it are typologies. All right, and we're going to see how the Exodus, this narrative, which bridges to Exodus, is going to lead to the typology of lots of different things in Scripture. Okay, and we'll talk about that. Genesis 37:3. Israel loved Joseph more than any of his other sons. Okay, part of it is because he's one of the younger ones, right? Part of it's because it's his favorite wife's son, right? He loves Rachel. That's his beloved. And so this Joseph is the son of Rachel, right? So there's a different ways to look at it. Covenantal preferential love, ahav. Ahav is just love in Hebrew. Some people interpret that as like this covenantal love. I don't know that I would go that far. Ahav means love.
In general. Because there are other Hebrew words for love, right? Is that correct? Or no?
Well,
not really.
It's hard to say that.
Okay.
In our English translations, the word chesed, which we've talked about before, we interpret that as a type of love. Yeah. Right. But
because in Arabic there is only one word for love.
Yeah.
So it doesn't change.
Like in Greek, there's lots of different words for love for different types of relationships, right? Yes. In Hebrew, there's basically chesed.
Yeah.
Is the word that's kind of like most English interpretations and most places interpret it as steadfast love is what it says, right? Yeah. So you'll see it as steadfast love in English translations, or mercy, or kindness, or things like that. All right. So it's not exactly love like what we would say love. Yeah. Okay. Chesed kind of is like agape in Greek. Yeah. All right. It's a different kind of love. Yeah. It's kind of a different level. All right. Unconditional, steadfast, whatever.
Covenantal, maybe.
Yeah. Something like that. So, but ahav, if I'm saying, like, if I'm telling my wife I love you, it would be like the ahav.
I got you.
Right. Jacob ahav.
I see.
To Joseph.
Okay.
Okay. So we see this broken families, all right? Yeah. Which is human.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
It is unfortunate.
Things we have these problems in our families. So,
but as we saw with Jacob and Isaac and even Ishmael, and if people would just talk, a lot of times your issues wouldn't happen.
So with Adam, we had Cain and Abel.
Yeah.
Right? We know what happened there. Cain murdered Abel because he was jealous and got really mad at him.
Yes.
So he killed him. The first murder in history. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that meme where the guy's talking about, we think it's bad now and we're violent now. What about there was 4 people on the whole earth and Cain murdered 25% of the people?
That's right. Yes, I've seen that. Can you imagine killing 25% of the population? Yeah, that's good.
So he killed 25% of the population of the earth at the time.
He did.
Or whatever that means. So anyway, with Abraham, we had Ishmael, Jacob. Ishmael, Isaac. I don't know it wasn't contentious with Isaac that's reported, but it was contentious with Sarah.
And Hagar, yeah.
And Hagar. Mm-hmm. So I would more say Sarah and Hagar. Mm-hmm. Isaac, Esau, and Jacob, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big deal. If they would have, Jacob tricked him and basically ruined his life. He didn't ruin his life. Esau went on to have a great family.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he forgave him. He was like, yeah,
I'm doing pretty well for myself.
yeah, I'm doing okay. It didn't really hurt me that bad.
No.
I didn't really want to be there anyway.
Right.
Joseph versus his brothers, which we're going to see in this chapter.
Real bad.
Okay.
Yep.
So we have these dysfunctional families. We think we have dysfunctional families now. They really had dysfunctional families back then too. It's the same thing. If these same situations would have occurred within our family situations, these same things would have happened because we're people. All right.
Yep.
So we got to learn from their mistakes, not do the same thing. So we have jealousy, rivalry, violence, all these things. So these wounds become almost like an inherited dysfunction. It's almost like it's in our DNA to have dysfunctional relationships. I wonder why.
Yeah.
It's called sin. I mean, it screws everything up. All right. We pass those things around, whether it's, again, a lot of it's learned behavior, right?
Yes.
We learn bad
definitely.
behaviors from our parents. But some of it's genetics too. We're learning more and more behaviors are affected by our DNA and our genetics. We don't understand it exactly. We're learning more, but there's something to it. So somehow we pass down that, whether it's nature or nurture, whatever it may be, we pass down those dysfunctional behaviors to our children. Jacob experienced favoritism, and now he is perpetuating favoritism. Right? It's the same. His father didn't like him. He liked Esau better. His mother liked him better, and now he's doing this. He's doing the same thing because of Joseph and Benjamin eventually. Okay. Now Israel loved Joseph more than any of his sons because he was the son of his old age. Again, he was one of the young sons, and he was Rachel's son. And he made him a robe of many colors. Joseph and the amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, right? So this
I just can't think of that without seeing Kramer walk down the street in that robe. With his hat.
I mean, too. It looks like a pimp coat. He's got
his cane and his hat.
his hat. It's so great. It's so great. And he goes to that car park and he's trying to get the girl out of the car, and I think he's a pimp.
Yeah. Hilarious.
It's so funny.
Oh, wow. Sorry, guys.
Okay. So the coat, it's a symbol of authority, just like a pimp would wear, right? A symbol of authority, right?
He just casually thought, just like a pimp would wear. That's for sure going in the file.
So the Baba Noel coat is double duty.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Jeez.
I'm sitting over here making a list of titles.
Oh my gosh.
You put Nathan in a Technicolor Dreamcoat. Randy. Tell Grok to do it.
If you order 100 pounds of Baba Java coffee, Brad will wear a pimp Technicolor Dreamcoat and deliver it to your house. It may or might not have
a cane and a fuzzy brimmed hat.
Okay. We're never going to finish this.
No.
Okay, we're on verse 3.
We're on verse 3.
The coat is a symbol of authority. The Hebrew, the ketanet pasim. All right? So it's like a long robe with sleeves, and it really is saying, hey, he's the most important of you guys.
Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, you're my sons and everything, but this guy's a lot more important than y'all.
Yeah.
And here's going to show it. Here's how we're going to show it. All right?
I mean, you got multiple kids. I got multiple kids. Can you imagine giving one of them just like the brand new car or something, and the others,
a new car?
they don't have anything.
Yeah.
They're still riding bus school.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be ultimate jealousy.
Yeah, it would be a bad situation, and it
Yes.
was,
And it was,
obviously.
yeah.
All right. In the A&E context, your clothes matter. All right. It what you wore indicated your status, right?
Yeah.
Identity, authority, inheritance. So this is Jacob saying, Joseph is my chosen heir. I don't care if he's the youngest. Mm-hmm. He's chosen over all of you guys.
Yep.
He's better than y'all. All right. Okay. Verse 4. But when his brothers saw that their father loved him more than all his brothers, they hated him and could not speak peaceably to him. We'll come back to that because it carries on later.
Yeah, it does.
Okay. All right. Verse 5 through 9. Now Joseph had a dream. All right. This is interesting. And when he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more.
Yeah.
He said to them, hear this dream. Hey, I'm going to tell y'all what I saw in my dream. Behold, verse 7, behold, we were binding sheaves in the field like we do. And behold, my sheaf arose and stood upright. And behold, your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf. His brothers said to him, are you indeed to reign over us, or are you indeed to rule over us? So they hated him even more for his dreams and his words.
I mean, Joseph, come on, dude. I mean, yes, they shouldn't have done that. But
if you have the dream, you have the dream.
yeah, I agree. But you don't just like.
But you don't go and tell your brothers that.
No.
I mean, I've got this coat that's better, and I'm better than all y'all, as he's looking up to these bigger, older guys, right?
Yeah.
And also, I have dreams where you bow down to me.
Yeah. It's the younger brother just sticking it to the older brother.
So dream, and so this is a pattern of Joseph and dreams.
Yeah.
There's something with dreams. Halom. These halomim, right? So dreams are recognized in the A&E as channels of divine messaging. All right. There's some people that believe that today too, right?
Yeah.
In other cultures, God speaks to people through dreams a lot, right?
Yep.
They're not just symbolic imagination, but revelation of the divine. All right. This aligns with Genesis 20, Abimelech, all right, and Daniel 2.
Oh yeah.
And lots of other places in the scripture. We're going to see it with Pharaoh. We're going to see it with Pharaoh here in Genesis. We're going to see it with Pharaoh in Exodus. So lots of different places. Okay. Verse 9. All right. Cosmic imagery. We're going to talk about verse 9. This is interesting because we're going to read a little bit over in Revelation 12 because it kind of references this a little bit. All right. So in verse 9.
Then he dreamed another dream and told it to his brothers and said, behold, I have dreamed another dream. Behold, the sun, moon, and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Yeah, it's funny. He's sticking it to him. 11 stars.
Just sticking it to him.
Yep.
They were like, what the heck? When he said the first dream, and now he's saying something else.
Yep.
I mean, dude. All right, so let's read part of Revelation 12. Go ahead and read verse 1.
And a great sign appeared in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet, and on her head a crown of 12 stars.
So it sounds really similar to what he's saying here. It's cosmic imagery. All right.
Yep.
So and we're not talking about Revelation 12 right now, but which we have before.
Check our Christmas episode.
But this really kind of references this. Okay, it's talking about Israel and his sons.
Yeah.
It's talking about Israel, Rachel, and the sons. That's what it's talking about. So, and it points to, again, it's typos, it's typology of all the things around Israel, right? So, what's the problem here? Well, he's a kid,
Right.
and he's like super immature, has no self-awareness at all. All right, he's got an inflated sense of himself. Right?
I mean, it's put upon him by his dad, but yes.
Yeah. I mean, he's entitled and he thinks everybody's going to be bound down to him, which they kind of are. I mean, it really is going to happen, but he doesn't have the self-awareness to go and not know to not tell people like that. Okay? So this is going to happen, but he's not supposed to share it at this point, right?
Right.
So his calling preceded this character formation. He's seeing the calling. He's seeing the things that are going to happen. And the Lord reveals that to him, but his character's not there. Can't handle it yet. All right. So he has revelation, but he lacks wisdom.
Correct.
He's not old enough to have that wisdom yet or through experience. Okay. So he even tells it to his dad in verse 10, right? He told it to his father and to his brothers. His father rebuked him and said to him, what is this dream you've dreamed? Shall I and your mother and your brothers indeed come and bow ourselves before you? And his brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the saying in mind. He thought, Jacob's like, I've had dreams too, and the Lord's revealed stuff to me, so I'm just going to keep this in the back of my head. He's rebuking him because it's wrong for him to say it.
Yeah.
And to use it to hold it over his brothers, right?
That's exactly what he's doing, yeah.
But Jacob's like, I've had dreams too, so I'm gonna think about this. Maybe the Lord really revealing something to him. All right? Okay. Verse 12. Now his brothers went to pasture their father's flock near.
Shechem.
We keep saying Shechem over and over and over again, right? So, and Israel said to Joseph, are your brothers not passing the flock at Shechem? Come, I will send you to them. And he said to them, here I am. So he said to them, go now and see if it's well with your brothers and with the flock, and bring a word. So he sent him from the valley of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. All right?
Yeah, this is back from Genesis 34, right?
Yep. And a man found him wandering in the fields, and the man asked him, what are you seeking? I'm seeking my brothers. Tell me, please, where they're pasturing the flock. And the man said, they've gone away, for I've heard them say, let us go to Dothan. So Joseph went after his brothers and found them at the Dothan. So they saw him from afar, and before he came near, they conspired again to kill him. Okay? So...
They went to Dothan?
Yeah, they went to Dothan. Yeah.
Dang.
Circle City in the Wiregrass.
They come to the Walmarts to get eye exam from you, Nate?
I don't know, man. So anyway, in verse 4, 5, and 8, we see them say they hated him.
Yep.
They hated him. All right. Sanne, the Hebrew sanne. So it's deep hostility, relational hate. I mean, it's hate.
Yeah.
That's how we would translate it. So
stronger than not like.
Yeah.
I mean, hate leads to like violence.
Right. And that's exactly what's happening now. Yeah. Right. We see this same thing that happened with Cain in Genesis 4. Esau hated Jacob in Genesis 27. Right. And he was going to try to kill him.
Yeah.
They're not just rejecting Joseph. They are, so things happen that we don't like.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right?
All the time.
We have problems with relationships. We have people that are jerks. Joseph was a jerk to them. All right? No matter what. Even if it's part of God's plan for him to be the one that through which the covenant is fulfilled, he was a jerk to them. Right? So they are rejecting God's plan. They're not seeing this in the big picture, right? So he's wrong. They're wrong, just like in all the other narratives.
Yes.
You know, everybody's kind of wrong, right? So Shechem. So why is Shechem significant? Well, Shechem is the place, again, near Shechem is the place where the covenant was first revealed. We know at Shechem, they held it to be a place of the covenant because later on, we read those passages where they built the stones there. They built the rocks there. They had an altar there, right? And we also saw in Genesis 34, that's where Dinah, the story with Dinah, and the murder of all the people of Shechem, right? That's where that happened. So covenants, violence, and corruption. Even though there's a covenant, it's corrupted by the sin of the people, right? It's corrupted by the sin of the people of Canaan. It's further corrupted by the retaliation of the Bnei Israel, right? The sons that murdered him. We'll see the consequence of that later. So when we're summoned by an authority in the Bible, we see this over and over again. And this is just a Hebrew saying, Hinei, here I am. In verse 13, he's summoned by his father to go to do something at Shechem. And he says, Hinei, he's willing to obey.
Yeah.
And he does, right? So we see that. Abraham says it in Genesis 22. Moses says it in Exodus 3. Isaac says it. We see it over and over again.
Isaiah says it later. Here I am.
Send me. We say this, Hinei, over and over and over again. Okay? Hineni, I'm sorry. Hineni. Okay. Verse 18 through 20. All right. So they see him coming. They're in Dothan. Wiregrass, Circle City, almost to Florida. They saw him from afar, and before he came near to them, they despired, hey, this is the time, brothers.
That's it.
And we're all here together. Nobody else is around. Let's do this now. Come now, let us kill him. Okay?
Throw him into the pit.
Harag. Violent killing, murder. Harag. Okay? They want to murder him. They conspired against to kill him. Then they said, here comes this dreamer. Come now, let us kill him and throw him into Harag, one of the pits. Then we'll say that a fierce animal has devoured him, and we will see that what will become of his dreams. But Reuben heard it. He rescued him out of their hands, saying, "Let us not take his life." And Reuben said to them, "Shed no blood. Throw him into the pit here in the wilderness, but do not lay a hand on him, that he might rescue him out of their hand and restore him to his father." So remember, in the story of Dinah, Reuben wasn't part of at first, he wasn't part of the conspiracy, right?
Yeah.
So it was Shimon and Levi. It wasn't Reuben. So Reuben's the oldest, but he wasn't part of the original conspiracy. So again, he's being a peacemaker here. He's not violent like some of the other guys, all right? So he doesn't want to kill him. We will see what becomes of his dreams, is what they're saying in their heart. This is again a defiance against God's plan. Again, Joseph was wrong. Period. No doubt about it. He could have made it all better.
Yeah.
Right. They were jealous and hated him anyway. It said it. We saw it in different verses.
Yeah.
But even because of the good, because
threw fuel on the fire.
But he just made it worse. All right. And bad enough where they want to murder him. Right. So they threw him in the pit. Reuben tries to rescue him. So when Joseph came to the brothers, they stripped him of his robe, of course.
Yeah.
The robe was of many colors that he wore. Verse 24. And they took him and threw him into a pit. The pit was empty. There was no water in it. All right. So this is, what does the pit represent? We've seen it in the Psalms many times. They threw me into the pit. It represents Sheol. It's like going into the earth. It represents death. All right. So when you go into the pit, when you go into Sheol, it's death. Right. So this is symbolism of death. All right.
Yeah.
Even though Reuben's trying to save him, so it's a cistern, a pit of some kind, probably a water cistern that's empty. Just dry.
Yeah. Because they said there was no water in it.
Yeah.
So it was a dry well.
Yeah. So it's probably a water cistern, and they threw him in there, a bor. Okay, so pit equals death, Sheol imagery. Over and over and over again, we see that. All right, Psalm 88, Jeremiah 38 are just a couple of examples of that. Okay, but we see it all many times besides that. So this pattern that we see is death leads to exaltation, right? In Joseph's case, we see the pit, thrown into the pit, representing death, Sheol. It leads to being exalted on a throne eventually. He's going to be in charge of all of Egypt, right? Yeah. And with Israel, we saw it with the Bnei Israel, the sons of Israel. Egypt, and then the Exodus, right? Yep. So they're going to be in slavery and death. It leads to Exodus. And then with Jesus, eventually, we'll see death, resurrection. Yep. So we have this death imagery and then this glorification imagery, exaltation imagery, all right? Yeah. And so it just represents the character of God again, okay? Mechaye, the from chaos to creation, death to life. That's what he wants. We reference John 10:10 all the time, but it shows the difference. We're going to keep doing it because it shows the difference between what the enemy, what the Elohim who want to deceive, and then the system of the world that they've created versus what the Lord wants. All right. If you want to know who's the bad guys and who's the good guys, basically, okay, the thief, the Elohim, the ones that follow the system, come to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah.
Jesus says, my way, the good guys, are to have life and have it abundantly. Okay. So it's creation out of chaos. It's beauty in creation. It's wholeness. It's shalom. It's chaye. It's chaya. It's life. It's fullness, wholeness, tov. All those good things, right?
Amen.
That's what he wants. So the bad guys steal, kill, and destroy. Those are the bad guys. That if you want to know what somebody's character is, that's what they do. The good guys give life, bring fullness, bring wholeness. I mean, it's really not that complicated.
You're right.
But we get so convoluted in our ideologies that we can't see that, right? So the people that are for Yahweh are for life and wholeness and goodness.
Yeah.
The people that are not, death, destruction, slavery, oppression. That's the difference. It's not that hard to understand. All right.
Agreed.
So if you want to see what somebody's character is, look at those two things. John 10:10. That's it. That's the litmus test. Okay. And that's what we see here. From this death to life. From death to exaltation. Okay. We'll see it over and over again. Okay. Reuben and Judah. Failed and flawed mediators. Okay.
Yeah, they are.
But when Reuben, verse 21, I'm sorry, we already said that.
But we're in 25 now.
25. Then they sat down to eat. So Reuben tried to save him. He was, trying to keep them from killing him.
Mm-hmm.
So they got him in this pit. Then they sat down to eat.
Yeah.
So they want to kill their brother, and they take his robe off, beat him up, throw him in a well, a cistern.
Mm-hmm.
He can't get out.
No.
And so they're like, oh, well, we're hungry. Let's eat.
Yeah, it's very strange.
So they sat down to eat, and up they saw a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead with their camels bearing gum, balm, and myrrh on their way to carry it to Egypt. All right, so these are business guys. All right. Then Judah said to his brothers, what profit is it if we kill him and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother, our own flesh. Okay, so just think about the logic here. Let's not kill him. Let's just sell him as a slaves to these guys to these Arab guys.
Right. Well, they're seeing a business opportunity too for themselves also.
I mean, then Judah, okay, so come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he's our brother, our own flesh. And his brothers listened to him. Then the Midianite traders, and they call them Midianites here, so we see Midianite, Ishmaelites, they're kind of in the Arabian Peninsula area somewhere, right? These Midianite traders passed by, and they drew Joseph up. So they took him out, lifted him out of the pit, and they sold him as a slave to the Ishmaelites for 20 shekels of silver. They took Joseph to Egypt. Okay. So Reuben,
Clearly this pit is far enough away where they can't see it.
Right.
As we're about to see.
Right. So let's talk about Reuben.
Yeah.
So he's attempting a rescue here, kind of.
Yeah.
But he fails in its objective. So he doesn't carry it out completely. Because he doesn't, he wants to not do any harm to Joseph. But it's his passivity, even as the oldest brother. He's the oldest of all of them. And as the oldest one, he's supposed to be the kind of the leader, but he's not. It just shows he's a weak leader because of his passivity. All right? Judah, in verse 26 to 27, what profit is it? Let us sell him. So Judah wants to, he says, okay, we're not going to kill him. We'll just sell him and make money from it. All right? So machar, they're selling him. He sold him, machar. All right? So the irony is Judah prevents the murder, but enables slavery. Right?
Yeah.
Later, he becomes the means, the lineage by which the Messiah comes. And we're going to see it's not just through Judah, it's through others too. But we're going to talk about that later. Okay? All right. A&E trade and providence. Verse 25, we see balm, myrrh, and spices. Okay? So Egypt is a trade route through Canaan, through the Arabian Peninsula, right? Slave trade was common. All right? So it's just part of life in this era. Okay? God uses these economic systems, even if they're for evil purposes, to accomplish his will.
Yep.
I mean,
again, thankful that he does, because if he didn't, then nothing would get done.
I mean, you don't have to be exactly, we want to be exactly in God's will, right? He can really be glorified maximally that way. But even when we screw up, he still can use you, okay?
Yeah.
Nobody would have ever been used.
No.
Nobody ever would have done anything for the Lord. We wouldn't have seen any of these stories in the Bible that we're talking about if he didn't use flawed, sinful people that screw up to accomplish his purpose. Yeah. And he can use, that's the encouraging thing about all these stories, is he can use us flawed humans who keep screwing up over and over again to accomplish his covenantal purpose, right?
Yep.
Okay. So then the deception. So they took Joseph's So when Reuben returned to the pit and saw that Joseph was not in the pit, he tore. So Reuben wasn't part of it.
No.
He tore his clothes and returned to his brothers and said, "The boy's gone, and where shall I go?" And they said, "Joseph's robe." So they took Joseph's robe and slaughtered a goat and dipped his robe in the blood. And they sent the robe of many colors and brought it to their father and said, "This we found. Please identify whether it's your son's robe or not." Okay. So they dipped the robe in blood. All right. Jacob deceived let's look back. So Jacob deceived Isaac with fake
Arm hair.
fake garments, fake clothes, right? He put Esau's clothes on, put goat hair on his arms, and he deceived his father Isaac, right?
Yeah.
Now, he's the one getting tricked. So we see this familial deception.
Yep.
It's passed on, all right? We've seen it with Laban and Jacob. We saw, obviously his mom, Rivka. So Rivka and Jacob, and with Laban, and now with the other sons.
Yeah.
They just deceive and lie to each other. Yeah. That's what they do. Just talk to each other, people. That's right. That's the point.
Right.
Just talk to each other. Work it out. So we see the goat was used in both of these deceptions. All right. So Jacob used the goat hair on his arms, like what you said earlier.
Yeah.
And now they're using goat blood to make it look like Joseph's been killed by an animal of some kind. All right. Okay.
33.
And he identified it and said, "It's my son's robe. A fierce animal has devoured him. Joseph is no doubt torn to pieces." Then Jacob tore his garments and put sackcloth on his loins and mourned for his son for many days.
That's got to be some rough underwear.
Yes.
Sackcloth. It's like putting a jute bag on your underwear.
And
If you order 50.
Oh my God. Nathan will put on a sackcloth underwear and personally walk it to your door.
And ashes. Sackcloth and ashes.
That's right.
With my torn clothes. And I will walk coffee to your house.
Oh my gosh.
From Median Persia.
The chafing.
From, lots of chafing. From Shechem. I'll walk all the way from Shechem.
Oh my gosh.
In my sackcloth. All right. Verse 35. All his sons and daughters rose up to comfort him. But he refused to be comforted and said, "No, I shall go down to Sheol to my son mourning." Thus his father wept for him. Okay. I shall go down to Sheol. Again, Sheol is the realm of the dead, right? That's where they die. We've talked about the cosmology of the A&E, and Sheol is the place under the earth where the dead, it's the realm of the dead. It's where the dead reside. All right, we've talked about that many, many times. It leads to the watery places under the earth, right? We talked about that. So it's the same type thing. Jacob believes that the covenant line is broken, but God is preserving it invisibly. Jacob just doesn't understand. Okay, he thinks Joseph is the one that is going to continue the line. Remember, he's basically declared this is the heir. So in Genesis 37, there's some things we can see here that are a little bit different than some of the other places in Genesis. Okay, we don't see God speaking to anybody.
Or interacting with anyone.
This is all just human. We're just all humans. So what does that tell? Except maybe in Joseph's dream.
Yeah.
But he doesn't say anything directly.
But it's not,
It's just a dream that he sees.
It's implied.
Right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean? Well, God is still working in this, even when he's not telling us stuff. Okay? I think that's a main thing. There's no miracles. There's no divine revelation. There's no divine direction. We just see a dream, and then people acting like people,
acting fools.
Most of the time they're acting fools, right? That's what they're doing. Yet God is orchestrating everything behind the scenes. So what do we learn for us? Well, that means even when we don't, God's working, whether we see it or not. whether he tells us something directly or not, whether we open the Bible and the exact right scripture comes to our brains,
Yeah.
or somebody tells me, hey, God's been telling me to tell you this, or whatever it may be. Whatever miraculous means we think it's going to happen, it doesn't always happen like that, right? But he's still working, and he's still planning, and his will and mission will be accomplished. What can we learn from it? Well, we don't need to be lying and deceiving and plotting through all this. We don't need to be sinning. Remember, the 2 great commandments are love God and love other people.
Yeah.
All right? There's nothing about loving God here.
No.
And they're definitely not loving people. None of them. None of them. There's no loving people in any of this.
No.
Even with Reuben, he's being a little bit of a weak leader. It's not because he loves Joseph. He just doesn't want to get in trouble is really what it is.
Yeah.
Right?
That's what it seems.
So that's what we can learn from this. So Genesis, we're not there yet, but Genesis 50, you meant for chashav, evil.
What God meant for good.
But God meant it chashav for good. And we're going to really go into that when we get to Genesis 50, okay? Providence operates through human freedom. He lets us do things. He lets us choose the path, okay? Without visible intervention sometimes. Sometimes he intervenes. We've seen that through Scripture. Sometimes he doesn't, like in this passage. And we don't know if it would have been different if they would have done things right. We don't know. But I imagine it would have been a different means, right? I don't think it would have been through slavery. Maybe it still would have been. We don't know. But anyway,
there's no way to know.
We know that their actions led directly to, grief. Their father thought, can you imagine thinking your favorite son is dead and going through that?
Yeah.
And he's not. They just sat there quiet.
Yeah.
Right? They're comforting him.
Right.
Like lying to his face.
Yes.
They see how much hurt he's going through, and dudes are just completely oblivious to it.
Yep.
They don't care. Right? And then your literal brother is in slavery, and when you're a slave, you don't know what's going to happen to him.
No.
They can mistreat him. They can do whatever they want to. Right?
Yep.
So he's oppressed necessarily because he's a slave. But God's working through that anyway.
Amen.
Okay. In Hosea 11:1, we see, out of Egypt I called my son. Right? So it's Hosea, and I love Hosea. So Hosea is saying the Joseph narrative. We've already seen the Jacob narrative in Hosea. The Joseph narrative to show how Israel got to Egypt and how the Exodus led directly from this oppression of their brother through this evil. All right?
Yeah.
We saw Joshua 24 that Joseph was buried in Shechem when they brought him back, right? We saw the monuments at Shechem, restoration of what began in violence, right? In Judges, we see the cycle of sin, oppression, deliverance. This is the typology. So sin, then the people are oppressed, and then they're delivered. Sin, oppressed, delivered. Sin, oppressed, delivered, right? We see this here. The people sinned. The Bnei Israel literally sinned. They wanted to kill their brother, but then they sold him into slavery for some money. They made their father want to die. And then Joseph is oppressed, and then the people become oppressed, and then they're delivered. Okay?
Yep.
And that's the pattern we're going to see over and over and over again. Amos 2:6 references they sell the righteous for silver. Okay, so that's a reference to two things. What other righteous was sold for silver? Jesus, right? Yeah. So it's this pattern. We see these typologies over and over again. Joseph was sold for 20 pieces of silver. Jesus was sold for 30 pieces of silver. So we see the righteous sold for silver, right? Joseph is a messianic type. We're going to go a whole lot more into this later. Okay, Joseph is a beloved son. Jesus is a beloved son. Joseph was rejected. Jesus was rejected. Isaiah 53. Joseph was sold. Jesus was sold and betrayed, right? Joseph descends into the pit. Jesus dies and is buried. Joseph is exalted as the head of Egypt. Jesus is resurrected. 1 Corinthians 15, that ultimate resurrection. Okay, it's the culmination of all these typologies. Okay, Joseph saves the whole nation, or his whole family, rather, and then Jesus saves all the ones that are called. Right?
Yeah.
So we see in this, what do we learn about God? We see divine providence. We see this cosmic geography. We see God's hidden governance, which is kind of providence also, right? Yeah. We see the development of character through Joseph. His character is going to be honed and developed through his oppression, which
makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. We see this narrative transformation. All right. We're kind of seeing the continuation of the covenantal typologies, right? And we're going to see this discipleship. Again, that's kind of that character formation through suffering. Okay. So again, Genesis 37, what do we learn? We learn that God works through dysfunction, thankfully. He works through betrayal. He works through evil. He works through sin. Even when those things happen, his will still can be accomplished. Okay? Right? Yeah. Because eventually we see a reconciliation. We see things being made right, a redemption and reconciliation. All right? So redemption, preservation, salvation. We see those things that happen. Right? It's the mechaye, the salvation from oppression, the life from death, the creation from chaos. Those are the things that God does. He transforms dead things to living things. He transforms chaos to creation, to beautiful things. He transforms those that are oppressed to be free and live a full life, right? So that's the things we see. It is the beginning. So this narrative is starting the beginning of this exile into Egypt. As we go through the narrative, it's going to see the beginning of oppression. The oppression is caused because of their sin. But we'll see the seed of redemption and the gospel coming through as we see the gospel revealed through the whole time, stories of the oppression in Egypt and the Exodus story.
Awesome.
What the brothers meant for evil, God was weaving into his work into salvation.
Amen.
And that's Genesis 37.
Thank you, Nathan. Thanks, guys, for joining us as we worked through that chapter, and we look forward to seeing you again next time on Covenants and Kingdoms.
Bye, guys. Take care.